Welcome back to the channel, where we break down the most important trials and true crime cases shaping the headlines. Today, we're talking about the second court appearance of Tyler James Robinson, the man accused of fatally shooting political commentator Charlie Kirk. The hearing took place yesterday, and while it was short and procedural, it carries huge implications for how this trial will move forward. So in this video, we'll break down exactly what happened in court, what was said, the strategies from both sides, and what comes next. Before we even step inside the courtroom, it's worth remembering just how high-profile this case is. Charlie Kirk was a national figure, a conservative commentator whose death shook political circles across the United States. His killing sparked intense media coverage, political debates, and even protests. And now the man accused of pulling the trigger, Tyler Robinson, has become the center of one of the most closely watched trials in the country. When Robinson first appeared in court last month, it was brief and chaotic, but yesterday's second hearing gave us a better glimpse into how the legal process is unfolding. So how did Tyler Robinson appear yesterday? Interestingly, he wasn't in the courtroom in person. Instead, he appeared remotely from jail, and not even by video, only through an audio connection. That small detail immediately stood out. Some expected to see him face to face, but the judge allowed a remote appearance for this procedural hearing. From what reporters noted, Robinson's voice was steady, calm, and measured. He didn't speak much, only answering directly when required. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk did not enter a plea during this hearing. That means he hasn't formally said guilty or not guilty yet, something the public is still waiting to hear. One of the most significant parts of the hearing was the defense team's request for more time. Here's why. The case against Robinson involves an enormous amount of evidence and discovery material. That means police reports, witness statements, forensic reports, and possibly thousands of pages of documentation. His lawyers argued that they simply cannot review all of it in the short time frame given, and they asked the judge to extend deadlines so they could carefully prepare. This is standard in high-profile cases, but it also tells us something important. The defense is taking its time, likely building a case that challenges not just the evidence, but the way it was collected and presented. Another major topic was whether Robinson's team would waive the preliminary hearing. Let's break that down simply. A preliminary hearing is basically a mini-trial, where the judge decides if there's enough evidence to continue toward a full trial. Sometimes defendants waive that step, skipping straight to trial, but Robinson's team said they are not waiving for now. That decision suggests the defense may want to use the preliminary hearing to test the strength of the state's case. It's a chance to cross-examine witnesses early, to poke holes in the evidence, and to get a preview of what the prosecution is really relying on. This could be a key moment for Robinson's future, because if the preliminary hearing shows weaknesses in the state's argument, it could shift public perception dramatically. After hearing both sides, the judge ultimately set the next court date for October 30th. That hearing will be different. Robinson is expected to appear in person. Cameras, reporters, and likely protesters will be there in large numbers. The judge emphasized that both sides need to keep things orderly, factual, and professional. In other words, the court is preparing for what will likely be an intense and emotional next appearance. So what does all of this mean? Even though yesterday's hearing was relatively short and procedural, it showed us a few things. The defense is carefully preparing. They're not rushing. They're asking for time to examine every piece of evidence. That signals a strategy that could drag this case out for months, maybe even longer. The prosecution is holding back. They haven't revealed their full hand yet. No new evidence was introduced yesterday, and they're waiting for the bigger hearings. Robinson hasn't entered a plea. That's a critical detail. Until he does, the case remains at a procedural stage. Beyond the courtroom walls, this case has a political shadow. Supporters of Charlie Kirk are demanding swift justice. They see Robinson as the killer who must be punished. But Robinson's supporters argue that the case is built on shaky ground, that he's being targeted unfairly, and that there may be more to the story than what's being reported. This tension is only going to grow as the trial moves forward. The next date to circle on the calendar is October 30th. That's when Robinson is expected to stand before the judge in person, and we may finally hear him enter a plea. We could also see the beginnings of a preliminary hearing, where the judge will decide if the case has enough evidence to move forward. That day could be pivotal. It could determine the direction of the entire trial. So that's where things stand after Tyler Robinson's second court appearance. A quiet hearing on the surface, but one that carries big weight for the future of this case. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the defense is stalling or carefully building a strategy? And when Robinson finally enters a plea, what do you expect it will be? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on every development in this case, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay informed, stay aware, and thank you for watching.